Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Economy of Nothing podcast. I almost did on
Oh
a
boy.
related note. Let's restart. Okay, in
Oh
three,
boy.
2, 1.
Yeah, you can start on your own.
All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Economy of Nothing podcast. I'm your host, Mike Allen, the man, the myth, the legend, aka Mr. Green, aka Business Mike. I am followed by my gracious host, aka the Kanye West of cartooning, aka Mike Bedoltz, aka Captain Tracy. Mike, say hello.
Hello, welcome to 2026 and the new era of the economy of nothing where, I don't know, maybe we're in the studio. I don't know. What does it look like? We'll see.
I don't know. We're in space. We're in a different dimension. We're in the upside down. Who knows? On this week's episode,
We're in the
talk about,
distant future.
and also the past. No, in this week's episode in 2026, we're gonna kick it off with you guys. We know you've been waiting the Stranger Things season finale, impossible 9th episode, but definitely not. Also,
But you're from the future, so like because we recorded this that episode didn't come out.
I'm a time traveler. Avatar, Fire and Ash. Somehow people still watch this crap. We're going to talk about how Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer where Steve Rogers makes another comeback, because why wouldn't he? And then new Patreon goals. A little bit of the Economy of Nothing TV show. You'll get to be a part of a improv scene that we're going to do. That'll be fun, but I think we should just get right into it. Do a little icebreaker, just hear what Mike Bedon's been doing in his free time, how 2026 has been going. What does Captain Tracy think of 2026? Mike, what's going on?
Well, I've mostly been working on that box you're carrying.
That's great. Are we going to do that now, or you want me to just
No,
glaze
well,
over
as you
that?
were talking the whole time, I think you already put the box in the back of the car. I think. I don't know for sure. We might be hanging out by the moonshine in the garage.
So you're just going to pick
of the
whatever
Nothing
best
Dispatch.
content that you, yeah. Why are we trying to create something when literally you could just pick the best piece of this to go
And
for
also,
that, you know?
like, probably all of the shorts will just be me like reimposing the faces of the good bits on
Yeah.
the better animation I did anyway,
It'll,
right? Like, I'm not gonna.
if
So
anything,
it's just
like
gonna be
every
it's gonna be
day.
a week of them just walking with this box is what it's gonna be.
Well, I was going
Doesn't
to say,
every day feel the same? Doesn't it same every goddamn day?
it's Groundhog's Day, but with like shorts, or Rios or whatever. It would just be constantly the same scene, just like me. Like, why are we always taking mystery boxes to this cargo hold every single day? What are in these things? I don't know. Is it a human soul? Is
Well,
it?
like
Is it? What's in this
in
stupid box? What's in the box? What's in it?
well,
I want to know.
my assumption is like it's bullshit. Why? Like it's like the Disney Wonder Ball mystery box toys, but like of a job. So it's like, okay, you have to deliver this box, and then based on the value of the items that were in the box is how much you're going to get paid on the trip. So you can't know what you're going to make until after you've delivered the box. So
Ah,
like you just have to try and get like so like Mr. Green's, this feels like a good box. Like the inverse of getting a like Green's like shaking it like, ooh, is this? I think this is a valuable thing that we can.
I think it would be funny if it was like trending with what's trending like in the real world right now, like a Pokemon. Like, dude, I've been on this gigantic rabbit hole of people just like ripping open Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards, apparently, from an investing standpoint, there's a lot of manipulation going on in the Pokemon market right now. But apparently, people are like pumping and dumping cards up. There's some guy named the Kabuto King that's collecting all the first edition Kabutos and like raising the price of it. People are like going online and finding their first edition Kabutos and just burning them. So like this card that was worth 32 cents is now worth like 40 per card, and this guy's got like over 10,000 of them. So he's literally controlling the supply and demand of one card that nobody wants. And then there's other people out there that are buying like scalpers are going to stores and just buying like 100 grand worth of Pokemon starter kits, and just look at like just because apparently like if you were holding on to Pokemon cards this whole time, you had the shit that people want. That in some instances, like you've outperformed the S&P 500 by like 4,000%. If you've
Well,
got the
like this
cards,
is
but nobody has the fucking cards. That's the
this. I
gimmick, right? Yeah.
this is like one of like this is like the economy of nothing, like philosophy or something, right? That's like
Mhm.
no, like don't you understand everything's Pokemon cards, right? Like the things you're saying is just like oil. Like, do you know what I mean? Like people go in there and they get it in a way that you should. Like it's not
Yeah.
like people aren't making like every great business decision of like a major corporation is just what these people are doing, but at like a larger scale and a thing that people think's less ridiculous than Pokemon cards, right? But like, I mean, that's how the that's how the soybean producers do it, right? They get in there and they muscle people out and they get the soybean, like right, like it's
That's how
like,
the chicken
I
farmers do it. That's how the chicken farmers do it. They buy all the chicken farms, and then they're like, "Oh, there's a chicken farm short. There's a bird flu going around." Which I've
oh,
never actually seen a bird sick, so I don't even know if the bird flu actually exists. But apparently, it does.
when's when's the last time you saw a bird with a Kleenex? Is what I'm saying. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
or is it only because a bird flu? Because can we get the bird flu? Is that the thing? Can a human
We
get a
can get
bird
the
flu?
bird flu. Yes.
Can we get the bat flu?
Yeah, yeah, you can get. I
Or
mean,
is that just
not
vampirism? Is that vampirism?
well, not all. No, not all. Oh, I don't know if there is a bat flu. I'm sure. There are diseases that are communicable to humans by bats. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Could you imagine if like you were, let's say that you were Dracula, okay, but you didn't know you were
yes, yes,
Dracula,
yes. Let's say,
right?
obviously, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, I'm the captain, not Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
Okay.
know
So let's say
why
that you're the first
people are spreading
vampire.
these rumors.
You don't know
Okay.
how you've become the first vampire, but you also realize that you
Mhm.
are a vampire and you've just had sex with someone and you have to give them a call and let them know that they don't have an STD, but they might be a vampire. How would that go, Mike?
Wait, I'm gonna need to run this back real quick. So to be clear, like, so what's happening here is a situation where
I
you've
think you're.
discovered you're a vampire and you're not like entirely sure how you became a vampire, but like you feel that like you should warn previous sexual partners that they should get checked out. Like
Yeah.
they probably don't have vampirism because you talk to a girlfriend in between them and like she doesn't have vampirism, but like you're not really sure how, so like she should get you go see your doctor.
You don't
It's
know.
probably fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you've just realized you're a vampire. You've walked to the window to look down and oh, your skin's burning a little bit. You're like, what's going on? All of a sudden you have a you have a taste for human flesh. You're super pale.
We
You
need Here's the
know-
problem, Mike. We need a new thing, right? And I think about it with like The Walking Dead and stuff. It's like I just can't take movies and TV shows and stuff seriously when people like are like a werewolf. How do you not know what universe is this where people don't know what a werewolf is or a vampire or is like so there's like kind of this thing where it's like I don't know. I guess like it would be like something I've never like heard of, right? But like if vampires are real, then like probably the fake things that beat vampires are real too, right? Like you would
yeah,
just have to assume if a
yeah,
vampire came, I'd be like, let's get garlic, right? Like,
yeah.
you know, I don't know where I'm going with that, and I'm not sure entirely what the point was, Mike.
I don't know.
But
I just
like,
wanted to get off point for a
someone
second.
someone invent a new monster,
Yes. I
right?
think, and not to make a big deal of
I think
this, Mike, but I think you
you.
need to adjust your mic about move it like an inch away further from
Is
your
it too
face.
loud? Is it too
No, it's just
loud?
when you no, it's just when you inflect, it like the tone goes out. So when you
With
get
my
too high,
inflection. How about
yeah,
now?
it seems
Is it
better, but
better
it's
now?
usually when you get super excited. Um,
Well,
so I
I
didn't hear any
turned.
of that. That's crazy. I didn't hear any of that.
Wait. So you didn't hear any of this?
What you
Are you
just said.
hearing me now?
I hear you now.
Okay. Well, that has me concerned about the effectiveness of this mic.
All right. Anyways, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this.
Let's get into what the people came here for.
what the people want. So
It's what someone to possibly have come here for.
nobody's here on purpose. I know that much. So
An accident.
Mike and I have recently watched the Stranger Things season 5 finale. Want to give our thoughts on it. I think we talked about the first half. We're going to talk about the second half and just glaze over that. Mike, you tend to be a little bit more optimistic with Stranger Things. I think you were give it a little bit more grace in the first volume 1 of season 5. You were like, I forgave it because the kids were, they're older now, and it seemed okay. The second half, what'd you think? Did it get better for you or worse?
So I have some disclosure for you in the audience, which is that I haven't seen the last like 20 minutes or
Oh,
so
well,
of the last
you
episode.
don't need to. The last 20
I
minutes
ass-
is
I
terrible.
ass- I assume the last thing I saw was Hopper and Mike about to sit down on a bench. Had to
Yes.
pause the TV. It came back. Amazon was Netflix was like, "Hey man, you're not at your parents' house," and I was like, "Ah, you caught me." All right, well,
Yeah.
so I want because they did that stupid bullshit which we can talk about where they like separated it out over like 3 different releases. So like I was like on Christmas or whatever. I was like, "Oh man, cool! I can watch Stranger Things. The end of Stranger Things." No, you can watch like the like 3 penultimate episodes, but like not the final. You have to come back in 2026 for the finale. And I don't know. It ran out of. What are you not going to get Netflix to watch the last 20 minutes?
Oh, you didn't miss anything. Everything you needed to see happened in the first 45 of the last one, in my opinion. But however, I will go over some stuff with you. So first
Can
off,
I ask? Can I ask a question? Having not seen the last 20 minutes,
yeah.
uh, is there like a tease for like 11 is coming back or something like that?
No, the last 20 minutes of the episode just puts a nice bow on everybody's ending, even 11's. Like 11, they kind of like make it seem like, oh, it's up to your interpretation. Either 11's alive or she's dead, but it's up to you to decide. And like, but it's still happy, and everybody has a happy ending, and it's super. It's like a fart in the wind. I don't think it was.
So
I
like,
personally,
where
I think
could
it was better than Game of Thrones season finale, but it's still like it still kind of stinks of that. And the one thing I want to say is coming into volume 2, my complaint of Stranger Things season 5 was that everything was shot in a way that it's like you'd have a really action packed episode, and then every episode after that was like two characters just explaining their characterizations, which felt really cheap to me, and it felt like a soap opera at that point where in every from seasons 1 to season 4 everybody you were learning about their characters through like action, like people were driving in a car away from something, or like there was just always something happening. It wasn't just two people sitting on a couch talking about their feelings, and that's what it was every single time with every character. And if you think I'm wrong, go rewatch it. It is literally there the entire time. When it's not the last episode, or yeah, I think it was like episode 4 was great in volume 1, and then the last episode was great in volume 2, and everything in between that was kind of like it was just two people in a room talking, or maybe four people in a room talking. Um, there was some fun stuff, but at the end of the day, I just think all of
yeah,
the
as
other
you
seasons
say,
were
the
better.
people sitting in the room, yeah, like there was a fair bit of that, right? Like of like uh I keep thinking of the one guy's the guy that ends up dating Nancy, but he hasn't had anything to do for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Um,
They're just sitting in that room that's melting, and then they have that
yeah,
conversation about how
yeah,
they
they're
should
just
break
sitting.
up, and they do, but also they love each other, and it's just like
They're
this
just
is
sitting in
so
that
unneeded,
fucking
man.
that cum room.
Yeah, it looked
Um,
like just like a
it looked
room
like
busting nuts
like
everywhere. Yeah.
I was not paying super attention at the point that that happened. So I just
I
like
also have a bit.
looked. I just
I
looked
don't
back and I was kind of
understand
like, "What is it?"
if we talk about the Nancy and Jonathan come room. Okay,
All right,
they're
so can
stuck
I
in
ask
this
you a
room.
follow up question?
Yes.
Okay, so like yes, so like And then the other scene I think of is him, the guy whose name I just forgot again, and the fun older guy. They're having that conversation about him with Nancy. I'm like, wait, are they together? I thought that conversation was about them like not dating anymore.
I
What
think
was that
what
conversation
so the
about?
problem was in the last season when he was out in California, they were all like on again, off again because they were far away from each other and they didn't know if they wanted to like go to the same college. And while Jonathan was away, he assumed that Steve was like trying to take care of it, but they had that little bit like, oh, Steve actually just thinks of Nancy as a friend because Nancy doesn't want to have 6 kids and Steve does. That's basically what it comes down to. So, reality is it was the most I don't know. I don't feel like you need to tell the like. I mean, you must think we're freaking stupid. I mean, they definitely think we're dumb for them to have to like basically spell out we're breaking up because it's the right. Basically, it was like I'm going away to college and I need to break up with you. That's basically all that was, but in a room that was melting. And I have a problem with the whole room situation. Like, I get that they shot the little interdimensional thing and it caused like a meltdown or whatever scientific reason you want to say that was. But what I don't understand is that room was at the top and they couldn't get out. And then all of a sudden, it definitely shows Dustin and Steve trying to climb a staircase, but then, they have that heartfelt moment where they don't, and it saves it. But like that was the staircase to get to the top room. Somehow they make it to the top room anyways, and they don't show us how. And then they break down this wall. It just it's so convenient for the plot to just move forward that they just make it happen like that. And that's my point when I say it's always two people's in a room talking. They don't tell you how you get there. That literally in season 1 or 2 with Bob, he's getting chased in that like the main place. I forgot what it's called. It was like that utility place where the
Yeah,
dimension portal was at. Like there was no like, let me sit in a room and talk to you as this was happening. It was like, Bob, you have to get down to the comms room to be on the radio so that you can tell Hopper how he can work his way through the building while these
yeah.
Demogorgons are chasing him. That's how like exposition and character development works in this show. And all of a sudden now it's like soap operas in a fucking cum dripping melty room, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I saw some news articles like a little bit before it came out that were like the Duffer Brothers had this planned the whole time, and I was like, well, that's not a good sign that you're releasing that story before it comes out. That's damage control. Right? Um,
Yeah.
but I
Also,
guess
fuck the Duffer Brothers, man. They J.J. Abrams the shit out of this. They
so. Here's
got
a
they were
question.
involved up until like what season 2, and then they just dipped out and did like what Captain America, Winter Soldier, or some bullshit.
You're thinking of the Russo brothers.
Sorry, they're the
Um,
same. They all fucking suck after a while. Yeah,
I'm sure they do. The okay, so I don't totally understand what the show was in that, like, I don't know. It's weird because they explain the upside down as like a dimension, like the way they explain it at the end. I was like, is that not what it was the whole time? I felt like there were like a lot of revelations that weren't
Revelation.
right. I feel like
Yeah, all the big
I don't know, but
revelation was
maybe
is that the wormhole, and they show it in the beginning that it was basically that the wormhole was like Hawkins, and then on the other side was they call it the abyss, which is where the mind flayer lives, and everything in between that wormhole was the upside down, which is very convenient. Just saying. And then they showed the wall that you see is
yeah,
which that's the part that kind of pisses me off. It's like, okay, so now this wall's been in there the whole time, but it's been in the middle of Hawkins and you guys didn't know it. Y'all been in there like a million times at this point. How have you not recognized this giant meat wall that 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 literally we see a car go through it and it's just space.
yeah. I
So-
mean, I think like my biggest criticisms of it, I guess, is just like it's just like time, and so like you get in a situation where like really kind of know what it is anymore because like at a certain point like I think it's supposed to kind of be for kids, right? And like big kids, right? Not like little kids, but like the plot is like, hey, he thought take down kids, and this is this 5-year story of how these kids take him down, right? But like by the end of the show, they're all adults, and the mom's dropping the f bomb, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's weird. They should have changed some of the show when they noticed how old the kids were. Like I don't know.
I agree.
The part where like Nancy's like won't give him a gun. I don't know. There's just multiple times where I'm like, and I'm thinking whatever about guns, but like he's 22 years old. Give him like it's really like
It's also like
one of
the
the
end of the world. It's the end
one
of the world, and you're not going to give this
one
guy
of
a
the
gun.
one of the last things I did here before it ended is like she's on the radio and she's like, and it's 1989, and I was like, oh, that's right. This 10 years was 5 years or 4 years or something, right? Like it is kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
it's a bit odd, but
Well, so
I don't know.
what's crazy is that everybody everybody made fun of it online. And, what's funny is that there's a part of the zeitgeist that I think is caught up to where me and you were at with about having gay characters on a show and the whole plot of their point, like the whole character development of their thing was just that they were gay. That was it. Like that's their whole personality. And then that was the secret to defeating Vecna and not having Will be the spy, is that he had to tell everyone in the room that he didn't like girls. But like they've told that throughout the whole season. Like Joyce tells it in the beginning that his dad thought he was queer. Mike says it's
It,
not my fault that you don't like girl. Like
it,
everybody's known it except for Will. Like,
well,
and
like
that's the
the thing
secret, you
that's
know.
I don't know, man. You know what? You know what it is? It feels
Poor
like
writing. Poor writing.
poor writing,
Yeah.
and it's like the autistic kid that can solve problems, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's in that vein of like weird writing about like I don't know people in like smaller groups or whatever of like what if the thing that made you different was your superpower, and I'm like that feels like a very fucking base bullshit kind of story. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't think that most gay people think of themselves as gay people, right? They think of themselves
They're
as like
just
people,
people. Yeah.
and it's like I think it's weird that I like it's a bad metaphor, right? It's like it's
Yeah.
like Star Wars. It's like Star Wars and like the metaphor for humanity being like robot hands, and it's like yeah, well, like that's kind of rude to people that don't have hands, you know?
Yeah. I guess I never thought about it that way. I get why they did it, because they wanted to have that big moment, and I get that that moment's special for any person that wanted to do that. But let's not pretend like that wasn't just to grab a fan base. You know what I mean? Like that was the only reason that was in there. You could have done anything else. You just went with the easiest option.
I'll tell you what other thing it reminds me of, Mike, because I'm on my here's things that people do that they think are progressive but bother me in TV show stuff.
Okay.
Like like whenever there's a character who's not white, their soundtrack is hip hop,
Dude, that
and
is
I'm not,
so true. Yeah.
and not just black characters. Like all like Shang-Chi's soundtrack is hip hop for some
Yeah.
fucking reason. It's like
Yeah.
they don't know what to do. They're like non-white market hip hop. I don't know what it is. They're like it like I don't know. There's just stuff like that that people do. Like you can see how people are sitting there being like, I'm being inclusive, and I just sit there and go, I think you're singling people out. But maybe that's just me. But yeah,
I th- yeah.
I just thought that like it should have been like do you know what the problem with it is, Mike? Is that while I think it's supposed to be like, and this is Will coming to terms with who he is, it's more Will coming to terms with like the outside world's
Yeah.
reflect who he is, but like this show is about your personal inside, right? Or whatever. There's something missing. It's clunky.
Well,
It's
that's what
bad
I'm saying.
writing.
The whole season of 5 feels like it's well, it feels clunky. It feels like pieces are missing. They basically, dude. There's a lot of memes that were funny about it though. It was like whenever Max was like trying to get out of Henry's mind, and like someone was like Kate Bush doing an extra 30 minutes of exposition, I mean, song, just so that Max could talk to Holly for like 30 minutes before. It's like, run, just get out of it. Be like, sorry, Holly, you got to find your own way out. Like, have you been stuck in a mind in a coma for 2 years? You're
Okay.
really gonna have a
All right.
conversation for 30 minutes? Last time you missed it. This time you're gonna miss it again.
Okay. You want to know? Here's a. You want me to shot over bow, take him down, go hard, Mike?
Yes, for the love of God,
Okay.
yes. Why
So
have you
like,
been holding back on me?
why
You know it's not a good season.
they
You know
they
it's terrible.
they've had 10 seasons to think about it, and the best they could do was, I don't know, invisible force pushes, which I think's fucking lame. It reminds me of, I think about this all the time, like in like Harry Potter and the final Harry Potter movie,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh, we're finally gonna do cool magic, and it's just that, like, you guys
It's
couldn't
just
think of
that it's just
anything
like
other than just the throwing these spells back and forth at each other and shooting a line, right? Like, but like what you want to see is like Doctor Strange 2, right? Where like,
yeah.
or Doctor Strange in Infinity War or something, where like, do some crazy magic shit or whatever, right? And that's how I kind of felt about like, okay, but like, I don't know, there's just something lame to like, what do you do in your mind palace fight? We punch each other. We're gonna go into our minds and punch each other or whatever, right? I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I agree with you. It's not very creative. I think if you were a showrunner, or producer, or director, or anything, you're like, well, there's a budget, and it's like, well, you suck because if you had a creative mind, you could make. It's called movie magic, people. It's really not that fucking difficult concept to get your head around. Movie magic. How do you make something look
I
like
know.
something's happening without actually having
Like,
to pay someone to CGI it? It's not. It's not the not I hate to be the guy quoting Burn Notice here, but Burn Notice is a great example of a show that can have a very low budget and make it seem like it's bigger than it is.
yes. Like
Yeah.
all of this stuff, like the problem with modern movies and television is like it all is so much smaller than it is, right? You'll be like, you'll watch the movie that's just like a couple people sitting fucking around and like, then that cost $300 million, and you're like, fucking how? Like, to your point, right? Like
Yeah.
what movie magic is like a great movie is better than the sum of its parts, right? Like
Mhm.
that's what like a movie. It's like, take this sound and this visual and this other sound and then like combine them together and make a thing better than those things sitting like on their own or whatever, right? And it's just like they're just like not doing that, right? They're just like
Yeah.
putting people in a room. Like I thought that, dude, the Abyss looked like that was so
Shit.
lame. What a lame idea. And but again, man, cool. So the Abyss is just gonna look like the fucking desert.
Also,
Your people to the fucking desert. Take them to the desert. Like,
yeah,
if it's just gonna look like a fucking place, why are you on the volume and shit, right? Like, it
I
just
know.
looks like somewhere. Just go to a fucking somewhere, right? Like, I don't know. Like,
It's because everybody's too pampered, man. Everybody in Hollywood. Here's the problem with Hollywood that Hollywood will never understand because they all they do is just have nepo babies do stuff at this point. Is that they're so comfortable with like set driven stuff that the idea of having to go act out in the elements is like too much hard work. Tell Harrison Ford that in doing Raiders of the Lost Ark. He would fucking spit in your face. He would be like, "You guys don't know what acting is."
I know,
you
but
know,
imagine, but
like,
he makes money not having to do any of that stuff anymore. And like, it's one
but
of these things
he
where like,
earned
that's
it. My
why.
thing is, if like if you're an old man, I mean, dude, Sean Connery was in that movie doing shit. Like my thing is, if you're an old man and you want to fucking just sit and work on like a Jason Segel TV show called Psych and just being like, you've earned that. Okay, Harrison Ford earned that.
No, no,
You didn't
I'm
earn
not.
that when you're like 30 years old and all you're just, hey, I get to show up to my movie studio every day. You didn't earn that.
It is one of those things. It's where like I think, you know, there. I think it's part of the thing where like this the superhero people aren't getting in as good a shape as they used to. I don't feel, and I think that like part of that too is like okay, well, you're not going to be. you're gonna have the muscles in the suit and you're gonna be on CG. What are you even doing? Like, like
Yeah.
there's like
Robert Downey
at a
Jr. can
certain
just we can just videotape his face. That's it. You know.
yeah, like this, like I had this conversation. I've had this conversation. Someone was talking to me about something, and it was like Matt McConaughey or whatever, right? And I'm like, you understand? Like, you simply cannot sell me on watching something because Matthew McConaughey's in it, right? Because that's what like AI companies
Want.
they AI agents by Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I'm just like, doesn't can't anyone ever spend this social credit? Can't they run out of it? Like, can't like I don't know, right? Like, is it not like less special to see someone that you see all the time or something? Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
At some point in time, it will happen. I don't know when, but I think it has to just come down to the fact that like the content, we're not there. The content has to just become so bad that it's worth just like being outside, sitting down and touching grass, not thinking about content that is a better experience than watching content. And like
Why they're
I
trying to
know
make it
that
so
it is.
hard and touch grass, Mike. That's why they're shutting down all the parks and all that shit, right? They don't want you to be able to go
They don't
outside
want
and
you to
touch
be
grass.
outside. No, I think in general the thing that Stranger Things suffers from the most is the plot holes, the inconsistency, the poor character development, the lack of creative writing process from the Duffer Brothers. That it's very obvious to me that when season 5 came along, they had no fucking idea and they just threw it all together. And here's the big thing, which I know you haven't been following because the past 2 days it's been called like that there was a secret last episode. There hasn't been. It was supposed to happen today on 1/7. But I will say I went down the rabbit hole multiple times and even Netflix like bought into it, the cast bought into it, which is kind of bullshit if you really think about it, because it's the ultimate like snatch and grab fooled you
Yeah,
type of thing.
it's
Um
probably Netflix trying to make sure everyone re-ups for another month.
Oh, 100% because they know people are going to cancel because we're waiting for Stranger Things to end
Wait for sure.
forever.
What possible
But
reason could
can
you
I tell
have
you
to have Netflix
can I
anymore,
tell
Mike?
you the plot holes? Like, dude, the fans, the Duffer Brothers are such bad writers that the fans have created better alternative stories in a very short amount of time, and they have caught every inconsistency in the second half volume. They show when Holly's like, "Oh, this color in the playground is like this is different. This is supposed to be something else." Well, the second like Will is under his spell, like the knob of the tower is different. They've noticed there's like Morse code stuff, and God, what's there? The fact that Henry had 12 kids so that he could just have the abyss dude work, have the giant spider thing work in
Okay,
the
so like
abyss. Like, what was the point of all that? You
so
know?
that we don't turn in so that we don't regress to a CinemaSins time. Though I guess CinemaSins time was better than the time we live in now. Anyway, the but like yeah, like the fundamental problem with the back half, right, is that like it introduces the big bad guy in the final episode of the show, right? Like the big bad guy is about to smash into us the whole time apparently, right? Like, you know what I mean? In like that's a that's a tricky that's a like, you know, that's like if Game of Thrones had been like in like the final. I know people don't like Game of Thrones anyway, but like imagine if they hadn't introduced the White Walkers until the last. Hey, real quick, actually, the final episode is fighting the White Walkers. I think we
Yeah.
hadn't mentioned until now,
Well, what's
right?
crazy?
Like,
What's crazy to me is that people were so convinced of this theory because it had so much validity. And I'll give you an example why. It's like at the end they had Steve coaching baseball, and they're like, "Oh, well, this we're all in. Mike's all under a trance by Vecna," is what they're saying, because the reason that Steve would be in Vecna's mind would be coaching baseball in the finale. This is the last 20 minutes is because he's only ever seen him with a baseball bat. But we all know in season 3 that Steve's sport was basketball. He only ever played basketball. And that the
like
high school colors were
I
yellow and green.
love.
Dude, the high school colors were yellow and green, and then the graduation, everybody's wearing orange. Even on the brochures, it's green and yellow, and they're all wearing orange.
What are we? Sorry. What are we calling this theory?
So it's called the Conformity Gate, and the reason that started, no one really knows where it come from. But if I had to bet, it's probably Netflix itself. But it was in season 4. Eddie Munson, the guy that everybody loves, that's no longer with us in the show, is like,
Eddie didn't
it's
do shit.
conformity and the kids or whatever. But the whole thing is just like they're literally saying that we're in Vecna's mind the whole time because the inconsistency. Like I think Will says we used to go to Maldives for milkshakes. That's actually a Henry Vecna memory back like in the 50s. It's a general
Like,
store when Will went there. So it's just
let me
the inconsistencies are crazy.
let me let me tell you what this reminds me of, Mike. And I mean, perhaps you'll
Are you gonna
remember
say
this.
Truman Show because that's what everybody keeps saying?
No.
Uh,
The indoctrination theory after the end of Mass Effect 3, when people were really, really mad about the way Mass Effect ended.
they were
So
mad
they
about that.
developed they
I was
developed
mad.
this
Weren't you
theory
mad?
that actually we'll get into it one day.
All right.
They came up with this theory that, oh no, actually what happened didn't really happen because Shepard had been taken over by the Reapers, by the giant aliens that are coming to take over the universe. And so like that's why that it wasn't bad game design and bad writing. It was that like actually these inconsistencies all have narrow, which is always very fun uh fan stuff. But I'm gonna have to tell you, this sounds like a load of horse crap I've heard before, Mike. You know what I mean? If I was
Well,
if I
yeah. I
was
mean,
Penn and Teller, I'd be like, you did not fool us,
and
right?
I think, I mean, props to the fans for. I mean, if
I
you got
love
the
a good
fan,
fan theory. That you
I'm
didn't
telling you, Mike, if
want
you
to
could
like.
go,
This
you could
makes me
go
want to
down
like
the
find a screen rush or
dude.
video or something about this or
I'm
something
telling you,
like that.
I've watched so many, and I'm
Just
like, oh my gosh! Like everybody in 2 days. And when I first found out about this yesterday, I was like, well, that would be really cool if there was a secret episode. In that time, I've watched enough videos of like fans putting stuff together that I just didn't catch before that I'm like, oh my God, this definitely has to be a thing. For then the Duffer Brothers and Netflix come out like, no, that's the final episode, guys. There's nothing else coming. And you're like, okay, well, one, you were fucking with us. Two, why there was the best post was by this one chick. She said, Duffer Brothers, listen up. You got the way I see it, you got two options. You can literally do nothing and go about your business like you have been and let this just like be a fart in the wind and another Game of Thrones type series and just ruin it with season 5 the way it is. Or you can get everyone back together and shoot one more episode. At this point, it doesn't matter when it comes out because if you do it within a year, it could be the greatest moment in TV history of all time. And the fact that they wouldn't do that, that just shows they just don't care, man. But like it could it if you watch this, Mike, you would be like, if
there's a
this is
lot here.
true, if it was true, it would be the biggest marketing stunt and the biggest TV moment of all time. I think
I
bigger
know,
than Luke of
but
Star,
do,
like Luke
but
being
but
like I'm your father type shit. Like,
but
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 it's not gonna
don't
happen because
but
they have no
but
fucking
don't
care about their own fucking creation. And that's the problem with people in Hollywood. People in Hollywood
well,
don't
Mike,
need
think
you
about
shouldn't
all
get
right. How about
paid.
this?
You shouldn't get paid until your project's fucking done. That's the only way you're gonna get good material. Like it should be like 50% up front and 50% at the end, and you can't do anything else. And then we wouldn't have to fucking wait 10 years for a fucking TV show to come out because, like, no, no more of that. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of schedules. I don't give a shit about production schedules. There's literally nothing else to do. We just want to watch good content. Stop.
Well, no, well,
Stop with the
like the
shit.
economy of nothing podcast, where we're cartoon characters. But
Sorry.
yeah, Mike, well, I think part of the, I was just thinking, I was struck by thinking about how much different the TV landscape was 10 years ago
Yes.
when like not only like the Duffer Brothers would not get Stranger Things made now.
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't know what they did before this, but I haven't heard of them, so they don't make a show. They exclusively allow people I have heard of before to make shows. I haven't seen a show without a name I recognized on it in
What's
for fucking ever.
what's what's crazy is that not only did your fans become so delusional that they wanted to create this, you know, secondary, this last finale that would be better if they actually did it this way. But now they've created a whole universe for this, and they're gonna have spin-offs and TV shows, and like, oh, a lot of the questions you have are gonna be answered, and it's like, I don't want that. I don't want to watch 5 different shows to get
Yeah,
the answers
those
of
aren't the
one
questions.
show.
Yes.
That's it.
It will like this is the bullshit of like I mean it comes a lot of places, but like this specific one right here is like it's because they don't understand, right? Like, you want to know what would make me want to watch a sequel to your movie? A good, satisfying first fucking movie.
Yeah, that would be great. It would be
But like
great.
these people, like the people in charge of things in the world, much like our conversation about like Pokemon cards, I think in the Patreon version, patreon.com/economy of nothing, right? Like,
Right?
that
Economy of nothing
was pretty,
downtown. Yeah.
um, I really messed myself up when I did that. I forgot where I was going with this. But
Would you like
no,
me
they
to
don't know
save
what
you?
they're doing.
No.
They only know their only concept of business is tricking people,
Yep.
right? Like or strong arm. Like they don't have like the concept of like hard work and like good planning, like producing a product that people would want is like no. What we need to do is keep our costs down and like trick people into buying it, right? Is like what is like business today, right? Like
Here's the best way to
if
describe it
if
in
someone
TV
came to you with
terms.
the best piece of software and you were the CEO of Google, you'd be like, okay, first thing we need to do is separate it into 3 separate pieces of software, all with their
And
separate like,
slow
and we're
drip
gonna
it.
parcel them out, make sure that like they're like that they all interconnect and talk to each other, but only if you have our master account and all this shit, right? Like like this is like we have this
Yes.
great product and we could really do
My
something
my
with it.
my thing, I think the best piece of media out there today that showcases how you do it correctly, um, and it just happened by circumstance and continued it, is The Office. I think The Office does a great job of that. Like in the sense of like the seasons 1 through 6, when Michael Scott, aka Steve Carell, is part of The Office, and then he decides to step away because he's going to go do movies. He's like Hollywood now. He decides to step away, and then they continue it with other characters. I think, and eventually Andy takes over. It's definitely not as good, but like people still like it and still think it's The Office, right? I think you can't just go seasons 1 through 4 and don't have an ending to then go season 5. Look at all these loose ends that we didn't freaking
Well,
fill or anything,
but
and then it's
like
like, but
so
then here's
here's
this
the thing
extended universe. Like that's like Andy
because
taking over an episode like season 4 of The Office. It'd be
yes.
crazy, you know?
Yeah, and you have to remember, right? Like, but it's also about the show that they're pitching, right? And it's the other thing that's bothering me about a lot of this stuff, right? Is like you're pitching like a show that's like 5 seasons, right? Is like what people we have 5 seasons in mind for this show or whatever. It's like, okay, well, I don't know how many streaming shows have ever gotten 5 seasons. So I already am starting at a deficit of like, why would I start your show that isn't going to get finished, right? Like,
Hmm.
but just probably like just the way streaming shows work, right? And then like on top of that, like things will be so different and there's no push for a schedule, right? Again, like The Office, they just had to like make episodes every 2 weeks,
Can I
right?
can I
This
add
stuff,
something? Can I add something to
yeah,
what you're saying? I believe that streaming needs to get their act together, in the sense of like I think one of the reasons why this season sucked too is because every episode was like an hour and 18 minutes, an hour and 23 minutes, 2 hours and 5 minutes. There is it's one thing when it's like you can binge it all in one go, but now on every free tier you're showing ads. 2 hours on a free tier with ads becomes 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
there is something to a max to a TV show, and I think a max that you do is an hour. And that's with like
Like, you're
commercials in there. So 45 minutes
and
is
you
max you could do in an
like,
episode.
television is better when it has a strict time limit. Uh, Stuff like, Community, when it got its 6th season and it was on streaming, those episodes start running like 26 minutes, stuff like that. And it's like, no, you would cut them, they'd be tighter jokes, it'd be a better episode,
The
right? Like,
jokes
you
the jokes
need
that
some
stay
of
would be
this. Like,
better. Yeah, the jokes that stay
yes.
would be better. It wouldn't feel like it's just like I feel
Because
like
it
when a
would
show's too
it
long, it overstays its welcome. So when you could cut
because
it up
like
within
because
those
like
periods, yeah.
because what are you like? What is happening here, right? How? Because like, if you had a 5 season story or something in mind, like, this isn't equivalent to 5 seasons, right? Because of like, this final season is how many episodes? Like, yeah, I always hated it, and I don't fucking follow any shows now, right? But I'd always hate it when, like, during the pandemic, like, Marvel shows be like, on Friday a Marvel show's coming out, something to fucking watch during the pandemic, and you'd go and click and it'd be like always a different runtime, right? And you'd click and it'd be like, sometimes you'd click and it'd be like an hour, and you'd be like, well, fuck, I don't have an
I
hour.
don't have
And
an hour.
sometimes you
Yeah.
and sometimes you'd click and it'd be like 25 minutes. You're like, well, I had 40 minutes. Like, I wanted to watch one 40-minute television show. Like, do you know what I mean? And you're like,
I 100% agree.
or at least know how long the thing I'm about to commit to is, right? Like, I don't know. And they just
I
make so
agree.
much less TV, Mike. They just do.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. Like, they used to have like, what, 3 hour, used to have like 15 hours of primetime television on like 3 or 4 broadcast networks, and then however many shows on cable and stuff. And now, like, every streamer's like, we put a show a week. And I'm like, that's like no con. Where's all this money fucking going? To people sitting in rooms?
Paying the
I don't
Nepo
know.
babies salaries that are much higher than any random actor that you get off the street. But my thing is, yeah, in a world where we value our time more than anything, if you look at any business model right now, the ones that are most successful are the ones that give you back time. Um, like Amazon, for instance, right? Like, you saves you a lot of time looking for shit because Amazon carries everything, right? As much as it is the worst thing probably for capitalism, it at least saves you time. I think Netflix needs to get on board with this because you're just going to start losing a lot. Like, we already know that our generation and beneath us are so addicted to their phones that short form technology is eventually going to take them over, to like eventually down to like TV episodes should be like 10, anywhere from 5, 7 to 10 minutes. That you cannot be having 2 hour episodes, 1 hour episode. Like, it needs to go back. It needs to go to a stricter form. It needs to get shorter. And I'm not saying
Because they're
I
not.
personally don't want 10-minute episodes, but I think just go back to the 43-minute episodes. Go back to the
Well, like,
22-minute episodes for the I'm they're all out of whack
in
because it's normally for like what, advertising, when there's
yeah, well,
advertising and
and
shit. Yeah.
to your, like, to your point, right? Like, no one thinks, no decisions are made with anyone who's thought of anything, right? Because obviously they should be thinking ahead, and they should be thinking about the things they've done, like how children's shows are all like 12 minutes long, right?
Yes.
And like, you know what I mean? They do like Spider-Man and his pals or whatever the fuck, and those aren't like full length. Those are like shorter episodes.
Like
Like,
7-minute
these
episodes. Yeah.
like, kids are being like trained on this and to like phones and stuff, but like, there's not even like a consideration. Like, this is the craziest thing. They're just giving everyone all of the money, and they're like, hey man, here's all the money you could ever want. Give us as many episodes as you want to make. They can all be as long as you want them to be, and give them to us whenever you want. And like, that's why we're getting fucking dog shit. Cause like, like, hey Mike, if
Guys,
someone told you,
all I gotta say is we have the power. Let's just stop watching, and maybe good
turn
stuff
it
starts
off,
happening.
man.
Everybody just turn it
Yeah.
off. Stop paying for it. Let's see what happens. Let's do it for like I'd like to say a year, but I know nobody could do that. Let's try it. Let's start by like a week, and then work our way up to a month, and then if we get to a quarter, I think if you could go 3 months without watching some of these, like canceling these services and stuff, like I think you would see some of the best entertainment that you haven't seen in a long time, and it'd be original.
And and also, to be clear, people should go check out like some of like the free streams. There's like some good stuff on there that like just like doesn't, I don't know, rate or whatever. So like it'll never like make it onto like Disney Plus, but I don't know, I can't think of any of it right now. But there's some movies I'm like, I haven't seen that movie in forever, but it's over here because like it's just based on what they think it's. Part of me makes me think what people need to do is stop watching the shows you like so that the value of them will go. Right?
Yeah,
If you
yeah. We need a break.
really
We need a
like, if you
Pokemon
really
card
like,
break.
every person who likes Friends should just stop watching Friends for a year, and then Friends would end up on like a free streaming service because they'd be like, "Oh, we're not going to pay for this," but someone already owns it. They want some money out of it, right? Like,
Yeah,
so like, but if it gets too popular, they're going to put it back behind the paywall. You know what I mean? So we all need to
yeah,
work together as a team to keep good things. Like, can we all just take turns watching good things? I don't know.
yeah.
But
We all can't watch
we're,
it at the same time. We got to take turns. Speaking of taking turns, it looks like Steve Rogers, aka Chris Evans, is back for Avengers Doomsday. What do you think of that? I haven't watched the trailer, but I kind of called
I
this a
think,
while back. Actually, I was like,
I
the
mean,
only way that you could save it, the only way you could save Captain America is by bringing Chris Evans back. That was the only way you could do it. And
it
sure
was,
enough,
I
they
mean,
are.
I mean, they were always just going to bring everyone back. You know what I thought as I saw that, and I was like, oh, you're gonna. Well, I had a bunch of thoughts, but first I'm like, oh, well, I guess you have to tell normal people, right? Because there's more than that one just now. I saw one on the internet today. It's with some of the X-Men, and then there was another one with somebody else. They're doing a couple of them, I
So are they
guess.
just
But like,
cramming all the X Men like back lore into this, and then
yeah, so like
yeah.
everything's in it, right? Like,
Okay, but what
but
about
like,
the Fantastic Four? Not that terrible movie we just watched, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, remember the end of it has Doctor Doom in it, and it's Doomsday. But
That
like,
that version of the Fantastic Four is the worst, and we're gonna have to deal with
but
Pedro
like, okay,
Pascal as
so
the worst stretchy guy ever,
here's
the
what's
literal worst stretchy guy ever.
all right. So let, let me say a positive thing because we'll just be negative about this forever. Maybe the Russo brothers can do something fun with him. They did fun stuff with Doctor Strange after his powers weren't very fun in his first movie.
I'm sorry,
But
I no, I think Doctor Strange's first movie is way better than the second. The second sucks.
I'm talking specifically of like the breadth of like power
Oh,
usage,
what? Oh, power
right?
usage. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Here's my thing. I
like
don't.
Doctor Strange one, it's a lot of shields and stuff.
First off, Russo
Uh,
brothers are the only brothers left
but
that can
no.
actually make a good movie.
Here's my no. Here's where it really the interesting thing about it is, and where I keep going like in a loop of like, yeah, no one's just making any decisions and nothing makes any sense. Of like,
Yeah,
okay, so you have to do the Captain American one because you need to tell the general public that Captain America's back in the Avengers movies. But he's in the last, but the general public hasn't seen any of this other stuff. The last Avengers movies they saw Captain America was in it, so it's not going to like blow their mind.
see,
There hasn't
I
been 10 years of Avengers movies without Captain America in them, and general public just saw Chris Evans in a Marvel movie in Deadpool last year. So like, I don't know. It's just like,
as the better
so they can't be
Human Torch. Yeah,
they they can't be excited to see him because you just saw him last year, and there hasn't been an Avengers movie without him.
yeah,
It's weird.
or they were like, we got to bring him back because we're taking Venezuela's oil. We're kind of at war for oil, so we need to feel like we need to distract everybody with a good Captain America. My question is, what happens to Anthony Mackie? Is he like, am I Falcon again?
Well, no, Captain America will be, Steve Rogers will be like Nomad or something, and Sam Wilson will still be
Come
Captain
on. We
America.
all know that you're not a real Captain America unless you've taken the superhuman serum or whatever.
Well, the Captain America is a title that the American government hands out. So, uh,
Do
but
you believe that the Hulk could have been talked down with therapy, Mike? Is that what you think?
wasn't he?
He
The
was.
sun's getting and then
That
they
was
look
Captain America. How he took down Harrison Ford's Hulk was just being like, "Listen to your heart, Senator. You need to
Yeah,
calm
well,
down."
as we've discussed, that's like
The theme.
that's what
That's
that's
2025
like
theme
the
is just
entire
mental health
that
awareness.
was
And I do like that. It's just like, come on, you're talking to the Hulk. The Red Hulk, mind you, who's supposed the reason he's red is because he is madder than the Green Hulk. But that doesn't
is that
matter in
true?
that movie. Yeah, you should know that.
I thought I don't know that that's true. I thought he was anyway.
Bro,
I don't know if
I'm gonna
that's
look it
true.
up right now.
I
It
don't,
is
I think he's just I think they just needed a different color Hulk. Um, he's General Thaddeus Ross. I know that. I know all the things people in the movies know. So he should have a mustache. He doesn't have a mustache in the movie. Yeah, I don't know, man. Is it?
all right,
Do I?
here.
Can I feel?
Well, so it says the Red Hulk isn't necessarily matter, but his anger manifests daily, while the Green Hulk's strength increases
It
with
gets
rage.
hot.
The Red Hulk generates extreme heat as he gets angry, which can eventually overheat and incapacitate him. I don't think that's true. I think
Well,
they backfilled that.
Sam Wilson had his vibrant. Dude, that's so dumb in that movie. Is like they keep making a big deal about how like he didn't take the super soldier serum, but like if you're gonna do that, then like have him not have a like indestructible suit. Like, do you know what I mean? That's like if like Iron Man was like, oh well, I don't have the super soldier serum, and then like Iron Man's response is always like, yeah, but I have a super suit and I'm a billionaire and stuff, right? But like I don't know. He's just Iron Man, and they're like, "Well, shouldn't you have the super soldier serum?" It's like, "Well, Iron Man doesn't need the super soldier serum. He's
Right.
Iron Man,
Yeah,
right?"
and I think
Like,
that's what they go with. Sam Wilson's version of that. He has the basically the Iron Man version suit
I
of
know it's
vibranium.
like
I don't know. I just we all like Chris
I
Evans
think
better as
they should have made him. They
Captain
should have
America.
gone with like the Falcon from like the comics where he has like a little cloth suit and a bird that he telepathically talks to. I think that would have been better, frankly. Uh, but yeah, no, I don't know. Is it safe to say that I'm not excited for Avengers Doomsday? Is that safe to say, Mike?
I I honestly thought I'd be more excited, but after watching the Fantastic Four movie, there's just no way I can't. I don't trust anyone's vision at Marvel right now or
Like I don't
Disney.
care.
Yeah,
I think about like Spider-Man Homecoming and like some of those other ones they did. Like I just don't want to like sit through like and the camera stops and pans because Tobey Maguire said something to Robert Downey Jr. and here's the pause for everyone to clap and shit. And I'm like I don't care. Like I don't like and if I don't care, Mike, do you know what I mean? Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? If like I'm the guy, you know, that
I'm the
like
guy that
I
would
mean,
care, and I don't care. So who cares at this point? I just feel like
do you know what I mean?
all movies today, like South Park is a great predecessor for like what was actually happening and has happened. We just didn't realize it. There's an episode where like Stan's dad, Randy Marsh, ends up like getting in bed with China, selling weed, and then they're trying to make a movie,
I
and then China's just like over their back, like you can't say this, you can't say that, and it's like if you notice, like all the all the domestic box office numbers are crap, but they are willing to put an international box office headline in there, like internationally it broke $1 billion, and it's like I I don't I, I think people overseas just need to stop supporting this garbage. Like, I mean, are your movies that bad? They can't be because then, like, Squid Game was great. All the Korean
yeah.
movies that come this way are great, but then we
Well,
make this hot trash. I don't understand
there's
it.
just like I mean, the spectacle of like a large scale like Hollywood production is
But they're
nothing
not
else
large
looks like it.
scale anymore, dude. They're all
I know,
bullshit.
I know. Well, they're not doing the numbers they were doing before either, right? But
Yeah.
also like we're in this like global bump, right? Of like well, yeah, of course, more people like the Avengers than ever before. More people have heard of the Avengers than ever before,
That's
right?
fair.
Do you know
That's
what I mean?
fair.
Like, Apple keeps selling more iPhones. I'm like, yeah, they keep shitting out new kids, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in a way that, I don't know, like,
I guess we're doing a
man,
podcast about content. Everybody's just watching content. Nobody wants to make any good. And the real issue is nobody wants to take the risk because taking a risk on something new requires work and nobody wants to work. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, oh,
And,
nobody wants to take a
and
job. I'm saying the people that have jobs right now don't want to work any harder than they're
but
already working.
and also, Mike, but like it's all like, why would you when it's all gambling, right? Like there's like no, the hard work doesn't equal anything else, right? So like if what
Yeah.
you
Well, I
a
mean,
movie,
my thing is like we're creating this TV show in order to have some sort of cultural relevance to today's world or to at least leave our mark on something and we'd want it to be good. I would imagine eventually someone would like I don't think George Lucas made the Star Wars trilogy being like, I'm gonna make one really good, and then the second, okay, and then third, I'm not gonna give a fuck about. He made the trilogy be
like,
like, this is my stamp as a movie. You just need more movie makers and more TV show makers able to complete their vision to make good content. And then they can churn out as many bad shit as they want. I mean, hell, James Cameron did. James Cameron's a great example of a guy who went out there and did exactly what I'm talking
there's
about. And now
so
he's
many
making Avatar
people.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You know, it's
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think for well, first of all, like just to your point, I guess is like, yeah, it feels like there's a lot of people out here like who like haven't earned their bones or whatever. They kind of like got in through like, I don't know, some nepotism or whatever, some bullshit, and then they just rode the wave of like everything just made a bunch of fucking money. And so like everyone who right is like, well, I was in $1 billion movie. It's like there was 2 years there where fucking every movie made $1 billion for some reason. So like, but like all of them bringing the cachet, like they made Jurassic Park, and they just didn't make Jurassic Park. And the guy who makes Jurassic Park makes bad movies now, but at least he did make Jurassic Park, right? Like,
that's fair.
but I don't know. You just come in, and for whatever reason they let you direct Jurassic World 4 or whatever. It makes $800 million, and then you just get to make whatever you want for the rest of forever because you're a guy that made an $800 million movie. Even though, like, what could you possibly have had to do with like the quality of those movies doesn't have anything to do. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
didn't do anything. Director of one of those. No offense.
I think in general that will come to a close over time. I just do. There's no way it can stay up because like right now, if you're gonna watch a movie, you're gonna watch it from your home, and you're certainly not gonna watch it right when it comes out because if you want to watch it
Yeah.
right when it comes out, you're paying $29.99 or $24.99. Then you have to wait till it goes on rental, and I am not paying $10.99, I or like $19.99. I will wait till I think it's $4.99 at least because I just know most of them are gonna suck. So I wait till they get to a certain level before I would even consider renting them to watch them. And I just feel if I'm already there, then most people are here with me, if not, or going to be, because there's no way you could buy every new movie from your home at $29.99 in this economy. No way, and I don't see it. And I think the only reason that $2 billion mark got hit, Mike, that was during that time. I don't want to say it was COVID time, but it was during the time when like every YouTuber out there was coming out and just doing reviews on the best, like the good, bad, and the ugly. Didn't matter what it was, as long as it was content, they were doing reviews on it. So I think that time is probably changing to where now people are so tired of watching just dribble that now they're going to be like much more choosy with what they're selecting to review. Like even choosier with the bad stuff. I mean, there was that whole period during COVID where Netflix literally just had subpar okay movies. And I don't I mean that kind of ruined everyone's trust on watching them.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like you just feel it, right? And like it's one of those things where we say a bunch of stuff, like whether it is that it just feels like there's two people in a room, or whether it feels like they're like, the CGI is not good, or whatever it is. You just like you're just sitting watching watching this stuff, and you're just like, this is one's passion, right?
Yeah, I mean, what really needs to happen is you need to create movies where people want to put down their phone and watch the movie, and nobody is enthralled enough to do that because you have gate kept Hollywood. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's what I think.
honestly do think sometimes when I'm doing when I'm like doing like weird math on like the show, and I'm trying to feel like how many different scenes could I possibly churn out in this week and blah all this other kind of stuff. Like I really like feel like that's like the way like shows are like a lot of shows are like being made with spreadsheets in a way that like they were previously, but now it's one of these things, Mike, where no one is making any. It's no one's fault because no one is making any. Every decision's already been fucking made, and someone just like passing it along to you or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, it
like
goes both ways. It's way easier to just accept that, do it, and move on, and say that's what people want. When reality, deep down, I think everybody knows that's not what people want. And I think the
it's
reason that that's evident is because shows like the Studio with Seth Rogen are winning awards right now, and it's showing about the details of how everything's stupid.
yeah,
You know?
but what do awards mean? You know,
Yeah, yes and
plus
no. I mean,
plus
the only,
Hollywood loves themselves. They love a thing about themselves.
absolutely, but to start giving awards to, if you watch the Studio, I mean, you're giving awards to Seth Rogen, the guy that did Pineapple Express. You've run out of people to give awards to. Is my
And
is my
dude,
point.
it is weird that like there just like aren't like I mean there were but like there aren't any new people, right? Because like all of the new people are like boy band kids and shit, right? They're all like they're not new. Like, do you know what I mean? I just haven't like I don't know who's that guy. He was in the Catching Scared, Running to Catch Scared People. What was that movie called? Vincent D'Onofrio was in it. And Catching Fire. I'm a catch man. They want to put me in a bunch of movies. My name's Butler something. I'm from Austin.
Gerard
Austin
Gerard
Butler.
Gerard
My
Butler.
name's Austin. I'm pretty sure my name's Austin Butler. Actually,
Oh
is
yeah,
that
okay.
true?
The only
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
he was
true.
in a movie.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, is he a new guy? He came out. I don't know where he's from, but I'm willing to bet since there are no new guys, maybe he's from something
The
else.
only one that I know that's new that's done pretty well that I think actually deserves some of the praise is the dude that did Weapons. He's from The Whitest Kids You Know. He actually kind of, the way he shoots a movie and the way he like behind the scenes. His whole thing was like, listen, if you're gonna, he's like, my advice for shooting a movie is like, go shoot it. Don't don't don't
Yeah.
over plan it. Just go shoot
So
it
that
and plan on the fly, and it ends up looking more authentic and real. And like you see that in Josh Brolin's performance in Weapons, like it feels like genuine.
yeah.
Like you feel like Josh Brolin is a dad that is frantic, and it's like because he's like talking to the director as the scene, like doing multiple
Yeah.
takes. Yeah,
You know what this really makes me think, right? Is like that's the problem, right? Is like that's the only way you can get yourself like fired from one of these jobs, right? Is if like you take a chance on like a director or something. But if you just take that list of like I don't know, I'm sure it's some algorithm based on awards versus box office. You just pick it up, you call Steven Spielberg, hang up. Call Martin Scorsese, hang up. You
yep,
could just go down and call all of them in a row. Someone says yes, right? You're not going to get fired for having got Johnny Depp in the movie, right? You're just not. It doesn't matter whether what the anyone thinks about Johnny Depp, whether it's going to actually help your movie to get like no one's going to be like, I think the guy that got Johnny Depp's the problem at our studio. Yeah, you're fine. You know what I mean? So just
yeah,
everyone just like go down their list of actions and like that's why but
yeah,
everything turns out the same because they all have the same fucking lists, right? So they're running through the same directors, the same actors, right? Like so like that's why you're not seeing anything different. They're like and I bet while they're on the phone, Steven, while you're here, do you have just some other ideas or people or something so I don't have to make more phone calls today? You know,
exactly.
like
Yeah, yeah. And that, folks, Mike, is there anything else you want to talk about? It is 11:30. I do need to wrap up. Do you want to do the scene for the show? Or
welcome.
yeah, are
I
you
mean,
good?
we can try something. I didn't really get a good idea. I've just been sitting here thinking about we're just shooting the shit by the truck. It's cool.
Okay,
Next
that's
week
fine.
maybe next garage. I don't know.
All
We'll
right.
get in
Well,
the truck next week.
first episode of 2026. Thank you, listeners, for stopping in and listening
I don't think
to
you should date us. I don't think you should
economyofnothing.com.
date us like that. We're a timeless thing. This is the start of season
And just remember,
2.
in the future, when it's like 2055 and we're still doing this, and how famous we are and how right we were in the past, to
And I've
remember
changed
who
my name
told you
to
first.
Mike. I will legally change my name to Mike B, like the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because I guess he lost it. I guess he's in whatever cult Ryan Reynolds started. Anyway, let's talk
Pretty
about
much.
it some other
Yes.
time.
Also, you should check out Mythic Quest. I started watching that show with him in it. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny from like a video game standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just Mac being a video game guy, but it was
Yeah.
fun. All right. Well,
Yeah.
thanks everyone. EconomyOfNothing.com.
Thanks, everyone.
We have a
Welcome to
Patreon.
EconomyOfNothing.com.
Help us out. All right.
EconomyOfNothing.com.
EconomyOfNothing.com.
This was a good episode, but we didn't really like treat it like an episode. We did.